Hey everyone, and welcome. Look, artificial intelligence is changing everything, and you know where it's hitting hardest? Education. Today we're going to dig into how we have to completely redesign learning itself if we want to preserve human thinking in a world full of AI.
So let's just jump right in with a killer question. Forever, the A+ essay has been the absolute gold standard. But what happens when a machine can spit one out perfectly in like 3 seconds? Seriously, what does that A+ even mean anymore?
And that question, well, it just blows the lid off our first huge problem. The very tools we've been using for decades to see if students are learning, they were designed for a world that's just gone. They were built before AI was a thing.
Think about it. The basics. Multiple choice tests? An AI can ace those instantly. Those big essay assignments that we all remember? Generated in a flash. Even the big, scary, standardized tests are starting to look pretty shaky. The very foundations of how we measure knowledge are cracking under the pressure.
So, this all boils down to one really tough question. If the final product can be made by a machine, what are we even measuring? Are we testing a student's ability to think and learn? Or are we just testing how good they are at typing a prompt into an AI? It's a massive challenge to, well, the whole system.
But look, this goes way deeper than just kids cheating on a test. We're now facing something called the learning paradox, where the very tools that are supposed to help us might actually be destroying the whole point of education.
So what is the learning paradox? Well, it's what happens when students can hand in these amazing, super polished essays or reports or projects using AI, but they've completely skipped the hard part. You know, the struggle, the critical thinking, the connecting of ideas, the stuff that actually makes you learn.
And you see this in the classroom, right? A student gets the right answer but has zero idea how they got it. A paper gets turned in, it's perfect, but no actual human understanding went into it. And the ultimate danger here, this is the scary part, is that we could end up with a whole generation that's fantastic at getting answers but totally lost when it comes to thinking their way through a tough problem on their own.
See, when the output, the essay, the code, whatever, can be poofed into existence by a machine, we get obsessed with it. And that's the trap. We're so focused on measuring the final product that we've completely lost sight of what actually matters: genuine human understanding.
Which brings us to the question, the one every single educator is wrestling with right now. In this new world, how in the world do we prove that real learning, real critical thinking is actually happening, and it's not just a student handing in a polished AI-generated thing? Okay, so we've laid out the problem pretty clearly. But the solution, well, that requires a huge shift in how we think. It's not about banning the tech. It's about a complete redesign of how we approach learning from the ground up.
The real answer lies in a strategy called deliberate task redesign. And no, this is not about running away from technology. It's the opposite. It's about being super intentional, about creating assignments where the human brain has to be in the driver's seat.
To really get this, let's look at the old way of doing things. The old design was super simple, right? It was a straight line. You get an assignment, you do it, you get a grade. Clean, easy, and now completely broken.
Okay, now look at this. The new design. It's a whole different world, isn't it? That straight line is gone. Instead, you've got this dynamic, interconnected web. And what's at the center? Not the assignment, the human brain doing its thing.
So what does this new process even focus on? Well, it's all about the skills that AI just can't do. We're talking about deep analysis that goes way beyond just scraping the surface. We're talking about real creativity, coming up with brand new ideas, not just mashing up old ones. It means real collaboration with other people. It means using nuanced human judgment. And finally, it's about synthesis, taking a bunch of different ideas and weaving them into something new and whole.
And this right here, this is the most important part. The goal is not to get rid of AI. Come on, it's an incredible tool. The real goal is to design things so that students have to stay switched on. They have to stay cognitively engaged. They use AI as a co-pilot, not as the pilot.
And when you start thinking like this, it opens up this amazing new vision for what education could be. We're not in a fight against the machines anymore. We're learning a new dance.
There's a quote from the source material that just nails this new mindset. It starts like this: "We're not fighting against AI.
We're learning to dance with it. How great is that? It's all about partnership, using this technology to make our own human brains even better, not to replace them.
And make no mistake, the stakes are incredibly high. The schools, the universities that are going to thrive, they're the ones who figure this out.
the ones who deliberately redesign learning to protect and strengthen our core human thinking skills.
So let's end on the most critical point of all. This isn't just some academic theory. The actual survival, the relevance of our educational institutions depends on this. We have got to prove that our students are learning to think, not just to produce.
At the end of the day, this is the future we're trying to build, right? Not one where we're made obsolete by our own tools, but a future where technology helps us unlock our incredible, unique human potential. The challenge is huge, for sure, but the opportunity, it's even bigger. So the only question left is, are we ready to learn the new steps?